Let me just address some of the other issues. So that's not a
Sorry,
minimum.
Rutendo. Is your response going to be short?
Yeah.
Will you allow him?
No, I was
Because he
saying
needs
to
to
him,
continue.
when you mention sanctions,
Yes.
you cannot, saying another country owes you because you were sanctioned. South Africa was sanctioned, by United States, by many countries. But today, South Africa doesn't say, because during sanctions we lost so much money, Britain owes us this money. Lesotho didn't work with us. So
But do you
it's
know why?
irresponsible.
But do you know why? Do you know why?
We are an
Because the
independent-
sanctions that were on South Africa were UN sanctions. They were legal sanctions. They were not sanctions to punish South Africa for decolonizing. They were sanctions to punish the South African government so they can not replace its military equipment and cannot continue to be a menace, and so that its economy will eventually grind to a halt for them to start negotiating. And remember, you said that the apartheid government did not negotiate because of Zimbabwe. It negotiated because the Russian system fell apart. That's not true. That's not true, because Russia was not involved in Mozambique. But South African apartheid government decided to destabilize this whole region in what they called a cordon sanitaire of confusion, or a buffer zone of confusion. They went to attack in Mozambique, to attack Zimbabwe and Mozambique. They were trying to starve Zimbabwe so that it cannot be able to export and cannot be able to get fuel. They were also attacking in Zimbabwe to ensure that they grind Zimbabwe's economy to a halt, while sabotaging all the traffic that was now passing through South Africa after they'd closed our way to Mozambique. The intention was to ensure that Zimbabwe is brought to a grinding halt together with Mozambique so that they cannot sustain MK and cannot use their armies to fight them and eventually bring MK together with them to attack South Africa. They did the same in Angola. They did the same in Namibia. When they got defeated, when Matsanga or Renamo was defeated in Mozambique, and remember, it was being funded by the Boers and the CIA, who were coming from the north in Comoros Islands, they were also giving weapons. When they were defeated, the Boers no longer had a protection on the east. And that defeat coincided with their defeat in the west, where they were defeated by Angola. And the moment they were defeated in Angola, they lost their military equipment. They lost jets. They lost helicopters. There is a write-up by the South African Air Force of that time that said that it got so dangerous for them to fly their helicopters over Angola that they only went and flew only when they had strategic interests and it was not so dangerous. Their military equipment was destroyed. And they got to a point where they realized that once we've been lost our war in Angola, when we now have to go back home to defend South Africa, and Angola, Zimbabwe, Cuba, and Namibia now come and attack us on our own land, we're not going to be able to sustain that war.
There was no Zimbabwe in Angola. What I'm saying
No.
is...
Listen, you need to listen to my argument before you go. So my argument is this.
Are these some of your other points? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to make sure that you finish your points.
This is just to explain
Let me finish up for him.
Wait. This to explain.
Because we interrupted you. I wanted to make sure you finish your point.
So I just wanted to explain that there were three wars that were happening at the same time. There was Mozambique, there was Zimbabwe, Matebeleland, and there was Angola and Namibia. So that's 4 wars. The Boers were fighting all of them. Some, they sent their military, like in Angola and Namibia, they sent their military. They sent some of their military to Mozambique, but they relied more on the rebels that they had trained at Paraboa. And their defeat there was a defeat of their people, their army. And they did not have any replacements to put back there, so that side was lost. And so the whole purpose of having these wars was to protect South Africa, to keep this barrier of wars, to keep these countries from attacking South Africa on its soil. So once they lost and that flank was opened, like in chess, they no longer could defend themselves by a war in Mozambique, a war in Zimbabwe. And eventually, when they lost in Angola, they were left open because they had to come back home, and now they had to defend home. And now they were in the position that the Rhodesian government was, they would have never won that war. And remember, you said that Russia negotiated, well, this is part and parcel of the points. You said that Russia started negotiating. But before, 2 seconds. You said Russia started negotiating in 1986. Do you know when Glasnost happened? when the Soviet Union fell.
The
In
perestroika-
in 1992.
Let me inform you.
1992.
Le-
So
can-
from 1986, which is the time that South Africa went under
I
economic
inform you
sanctions,
for
and they were
Mahala?
losing their wars.
Let me inform you for free of charge. When I talk-
You're going to
when
inform
you-
me. Let me lay
Sorry,
my.
let's
let me
give
lay
each
my
other a
facts.
chance.
Let me lay my facts. So you
Because I
say
keep forgetting things that I want to say. Because
that's why you
can
should be taking notes.
no, because he's
I
got a
understand.
white
I understand.
paper.
Let me- let me-
Rutendo, if you can, and
Yeah.
if you're going to keep it short, please allow him because he's not keeping notes.
Okay.
Because
No,
he'll
no, let me
he'll
make my
forget
point.
you'll
Okay,
forget
let
you'll
me make
forget
my
your
point.
points.
So I'm saying negotiations between America and Russia were not negotiations. America and Russia were talking. They were not negotiating. 1986 all the way until we get to 1991, Russia was still there. But Cuba was not using Russia. Cuba went into Angola without the authority of the Russians.
It was told by Russia to go to Angola.
If you listen to Fidel Castro, he says the Russians didn't want us to go in there, but we went
They
to
okayed
support our black brothers.
they okayed
but having said that, my point is this: the apartheid government was losing by the time we get to 1988. They were losing the war. They were losing the battles. Their strategic objective of going to remove the NPLA government, it failed. The strategic objective of removing Frelimo in Mozambique had failed. The strategic intent of continuing these wars so that people don't fight on South African soil had lost. That's why they had to pull out of Namibia, they had to pull out of Angola. When you retreat, you've lost.
Let me tell you.